And welcome back to a new video. Today we're working on the other Mazda 3. It's still an '08 Mazda 3. And I'm going to start the removal of the head, the cylinder head. The reason why I'm doing that is because I had a boo-boo. And I know I bent the valves on this engine. How can I explain this to you? The crankshaft bolt in front of the engine holds the pulley or the harmonic balancer, and behind the timing cover, obviously there's a seal and there's the timing chain sprocket. Well, that bolt holds everything together. Once you time the engine and you tighten up that bolt, that's it. That bolt cannot come undone unless you have the engine timed with special tools that holds the crankshaft in place and the camshafts in place. And with all their tools, like a nice breaker bar and a tool to hold the actual harmonic balancer in place while you loosen up the bolt, or even tighten up the bolts. The problem is that I had a situation here where I was troubleshooting the starter after I put this transmission in. The starter was making a noise, like for some reason it's hitting the flywheel. And I was trying to troubleshoot and I got frustrated and I was cranking on that bolt just to look at the flywheel and inspect the flywheel. And during that process, I did it multiple times where I would get in the car, adjust the starter in place, shim it, and try to test it. And one of those times I left the ratchet connected to the socket in front of the engine, and I went inside, cranked the starter, and that ratchet came around, hit the frame, hit an AC line, and got stuck there, and it loosened up the bolt as the engine was cranking this way. What was it? No, engine was cracking this way and the wrench was stuck, so it loosened up the bolt. And once it did that, the crankshaft turned, but the sprocket on the timing chain did not turn, so it didn't turn. It got off time. The valves end up not moving and the crankshaft moved, so the cylinder still moved and hit the valves. So anyway, because of that fuck up, I have to remove the cylinder head so we can fix the valves. Anyway, let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is remove the valve cover and anything that is connected to the valve cover. So I'm gonna start with removal of the coil packs. And I'm gonna start removing the harness. Anything that's connected to the valve cover, I'm gonna remove. So you're gonna need an 8mm socket to be able to remove the coils. Then just squeeze and pull on each connector. And then you remove each coil. Put it somewhere where it's going to be safe. It's not going to get in the way. They don't have to go back in the same spot, so it doesn't matter. As long as they were good, they're still going to be good once you put them back, and they're going to work the same way. So I'm going to put them in the trunk. Okay, I put the bolts back on the valve cover so that I don't lose them. Put them in with a couple of threads. Now I'm going to continue with the removal of anything that's attached to the valve cover, like this plug right here, and I'll just move this harness out of the way and I'll remove this. This is easy. You squeeze the blue, you push in and then pull out. Okay, everything is unplugged that is connected to the valve cover. Now I'm going to remove all the bolts on the valve cover. Around the valve cover, you're going to need an 8mm socket again, just like those. And I think in this corner right here, you're gonna have to, this bolt right here, it's an 8, and then on the bottom is gonna be a 10. But then we have to remove, I think, that bolt. There's a bracket connect. See that bracket? That bracket connects, so you have to remove some bolts underneath here so that the bracket is able to move. Okay, now the valve cover is removed. I also remove the positive from the battery. You can remove the negative too. It's up to you. But it's disconnected, so nothing's gonna short out. I think the next thing we gotta do is we definitely gotta drain the antifreeze, and we have to take this intake off. You have to take the belt off eventually, and the front cover, and the motor mount, and so many things, man. So you can go either way. But I think what makes sense now is to remove all the plastics here, anything that's attached to the intake manifold, and then start removing that. All right, so to remove this, you need to remove this bolt, the line that's up here, and all the clips that go, these clips that go around the air filter housing, along with your mass airflow sensor connector, that one right there. And you're able to remove this part. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tray. Take the filter out, I'm gonna remove the tray. What you gotta want to do is start pulling on it. I already got it loose. It has a grommet that holds it in place, a few grommets and a few pins, I think 2 pins. And once you do that, it comes right out. There's one pin right there. There's another one right there. There's a grommet right there, another grommet right there. I'm gonna do this so that I can see more on the side of the head. See what's attached to the head. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and remove the throttle body from here. It has some cooling lines. I don't want to disconnect the cooling lines if I don't have to. Don't know why, but I think we can do with removing that and putting it to the side. And I already started disconnecting this plug, so you pull the red tab up and then you squeeze and pull. And then this thing right here, all you gotta do is pry it up. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove this 4 8mm head bolts from the throttle body, and then I'm gonna hopefully allow it to rest to the side. Okay, so that's to the side now. I already started removing this fuel line, so you pull up on the tab, push in, and then pull out when it comes out. Careful with that. If you just shut off your car, you might have some fuel pressure. That red one is gonna be the same way. You pull on it, you push. I pushed in because I tried pulling it out and it didn't want it, so just pull up and remove. And it leaves behind this little clip thing. I don't know why. I don't know if that broke off or what, but all I did was go in and out. Okay. Wait, let me see what's going on with this. Yeah, so I put it back in and then I pull it out, and I put it back in and locked in place. I pull it out, and I unlocked it again and pulled it out. So it's the same thing. I guess that stays. But you be careful, you can lose that though, because look, it comes right out. So it's kind of like these. These leave a plastic piece, a blue plastic piece behind. Or a red plastic, what was it? Where's the head? The valve cover. Oh, see, a blue piece. It kind of stays behind, but that one seemed to be more secure. All right, so let's continue on just removing anything that's attached to the intake. So I unclipped this plug and all the injectors. That's attached to this and it's attached to this. So I think I'm gonna remove this bolt and that should take care of the fuel rail. And I'm gonna take this clip off pull that piece of fake tail harness out. I think this all comes out together. Yeah, 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. All right, so I got the bolts out. That one and that one. Now I'm trying to remove the fuel rail with the injectors, and I guess you got to work them out. They're being stubborn, so I'm gonna try to grab them with this and start working each injector out. As of right now, all this holding the injectors in place got to be the O-ring. And I finally got it out, guys. I really had to work to get it out. I used some PB Blaster and wiggle the injectors back and forth, up and down, till I finally got them to give up, and I won. So there's fuel coming out of the line. It's a good idea to just put it somewhere where it's not gonna get in the way. It's not gonna get you wet. Yeah, there was way more fuel in that fuel rail, so I ended up draining it somewhere else because I kept on coming down, more and more fuel. It's not a big deal because it's gonna evaporate anyways. And I'm not welding or cutting with the torch here, so there's no fire hazard. All right, so what's next? Look at this. We're gonna clean those holes anyway. You know, the head's gonna be out and the injectors are gonna get new O-rings. All right, now we can see more of what we got to do. So we still gotta remove this intake. Now we can at least see some of the bolts. There's 3. There's gotta be more bolts under here somewhere. But anyway, we definitely gotta remove this, and we gotta remove this. So let's work on that. So this one the same way. You pull this thing up, and how did I do it? Yeah, this thing. Pull it up and then pull it out. The only thing is it doesn't leave that white thing, this thing, that was in the fuel rail. So there's no such thing. I guess this thing locks, do all the locking on here. So that's out of the way. Now we gotta figure this out. I think we gotta push down on this and then pull up on that. Let's give that a shot. That's what I did. I just pressed down on this, well, held down on this and pull up on it, and it came right out. So there's nothing really locking except for the hole, I guess. I didn't do anything. I just pulled onto this with the screwdriver and pulled on it, and it came out. I guess that's good. Doesn't look broken to me. And then we continue to move everything to the side. All right. Now we see another bolt here. What's next? Vacuum lines are connected to the, well, somewhere down there. Don't know, just gotta come off. Let me figure it out, guys, and then I'll start recording again. All right, so I came underneath, and right there on the left side of the radiator, you gotta do is turn that, and antifreeze will start coming down, like so. I just let it drip in a controlled, nice little way so it doesn't make a mess, because I always make a mess with oil or antifreeze, so I'm going to try not to make a mess. I'm going to go ahead and remove the cap from the jug up top to see if maybe it comes out quicker. But that's it as far as draining it, because we're going to have to remove hoses from the head. Water hoses, water lines are connected to the head and to, I was looking at the throttle body. I probably can't leave it hanging like that. I'm probably gonna remove a hose or something. I think it's connected to the head somehow. But it's still slow. Doesn't matter. Just let it drip like that for a little bit. Oh. So I opened it just a little bit more. And it's still pretty good. Nice, it has a nice flow. So while that's draining, we're gonna look for what else we can remove on the intake. Definitely we're gonna look for the bolts. We're gonna try to remove these wires right from on the top. And right there's a clip. We gotta remove this harness. We gotta remove that plug and that plug. There might be another plug right there. And I think down there's another clip that we have to remove somehow. Okay, so I'm underneath the intake, and there was this clip right here I removed, and there's another one right there where that pink tape is, and then there's another one right there. So there's 3 down here for the harness that's gonna be holding you back, and there's that bolt right there that has to be removed. That's holding the intake in place down here. So that's what I'm working on, and these clips are just let me see. You can try prying on them, or you can try squeezing one corner and then the other corner. Hopefully you don't break them. That one went in there like that. I usually, when I'm able to get to them, I get them out without breaking them, because sometimes it's difficult. Just do your best, that's all. And I got them out without breaking them. So I got this one, I got this one, I got the center one. Now we go ahead and we gotta remove this bolt while we're here. All right, guys, I got that bolt out. It was a 10mm head. So now we're gonna go back up. This thing's still draining. And we're gonna start with this one. All the way all the way to the right. 10mm, like the bottom one. Okay, we got that one out. Now we're gonna go for, there's 2 here. So that the one we got out, which it was, where was it? Right there. Now we're gonna go for those 2. And we're gonna have access to go in through that area. Bottom one, top one. Or if you've got a box end like this, you can get it from the top, I think. I'm gonna try this first. All right, so those 2 bolts, I did it with a combination of this and open the box end, and then to get the bolt out, I had to use a needle nose to grab them and take it out. But they are shorter, so this one was the longest one, obviously, because it has all this to travel, and these are shorter. Okay, so we got 3 out. Okay, so before we continue on with the bolts, there's one down here somewhere, right in there, and I have to remove this plug. All right, so I moved that out of the way, the plug, and that clip did break on me, so that's not like the other ones. That one usually breaks if it's brittle enough, because you got to pry it out. There's no way of bending it or do anything to break it, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I can zip tie it back where it goes. Now there's a bolt hitting down there, but I can't get to it, so I have to remove this is the belt tensioner, so I have to remove the belt tensioner anyways in the belt to get eventually to have access to the front of the engine. So it seems like I'm going to take the belt out first, and the 2 bolts for the tensioner, get that out of the way, and I'll have access to that 1 bolt. And I don't know if there's any other bolts after that. I think right there in the center there's a hole, or maybe another one, I'm not sure. Or maybe I'll be able to see better through here, not sure yet. But hopefully that's the last one. So the belt tensioner has to come out. Take the belt out, the tensioner gets pushed that way, and then you remove the belt. Now I have access to this bolt and the bottom bolt. Somewhere there's 2 bolts. It's just getting dark and I can't see, but I think those are 12 millimeter.